It's always interesting talking about food from my mission because half of it, I mean, we didn't eat with members very often, just because there weren't a ton of members, and it would be kind of overtaxing to always have a missionary. They'd have a missionary at their house, every week if that were the case. But so a lot of my experiences with food are both what we tried to create on our own as missionaries and then what we were fed. The traditional Kazakh food is beshparmak, which is a horse dish. And so horse to them is kind of a national staple, which is weird coming from a Western society to eat horse. But it tasted pretty good. The dish itself was kind of like a soup where they had types of dough in it and a broth and then the horse meat. It was really good. The Kazakh culture, the traditional culture, is kind of a communal style eating. And so at one of our investigators' houses, I remember they wanted to get us used to or introduce us to the traditional Kazakh style of eating. And so what they did is they laid out a big carpet, a clean carpet mat sort of thing on the floor. Everyone sat on the floor around the carpet, and there were a couple of bigger serving bowls with the food, noodles or whatever meat. They always had some sort of flat bread that they'd serve with it, and you dug in with your hands, and everyone was shared from the same bowls. That you didn't get your own plate, you know what I mean? And so, when I explain it, it kind of sounds like really messy, you know what I mean? But it wasn't messy by any means. It was very, very clean. And I was just impressed at how, even though you're eating with your hands, we got dirty, but everyone else, they were very clean about it, and I guess they knew how to do it. But that was interesting. The traditional way of eating in it. It was kind of cool. Other foods that I can remember, I remember whenever we ate at members' houses, they always tried to cook, some of the best or traditional food. So I remember going to one house, and it was basically a seafood soup. And by seafood, I mean there was all sorts of stuff. It was basically just a broth, and you could see tentacles of little squid or octopus in there. There were clams and shrimp, all pretty much just at the bottom of this soup with broth. And so that, I'm used to things being mixed in, and if I'm eating something like that, it doesn't look like a tentacle, you know what I mean? It's been cut up or whatever. So that was interesting. We had a lot of fun with that, and it was actually really, really tasty. I like seafood, so I know there's very little, if any, processed food. They don't like processed food. They don't eat processed food. Everything is very, very fresh, and so you can find a little market at the corner of almost every street, kind of like we can find gas stations here. But they sell fresh fruit. They'll sell meat that hasn't been, processed. It's just gone from the booker, packaged, and is now for sale. And so people will, they won't go on shopping trips that'll last them a month. You know what I mean? They'll go every day or a few times a week to get their food and produce. So everything, I remember that it was really fresh, and I actually felt a lot better eating, everything that was freshly prepared instead of kind of prepackaged food. So I really like that about the food that they ate. Lots of fruit, lots of vegetables.